We would like to acknowledge the Bundjalung people, traditional custodians of this land where we record this podcast, and we pay our respects to elders past and present.
Just a note, this episode discusses themes of mental health and suicidal thoughts. If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out for support. You are definitely not alone, and we have links in our show notes.
Hello, beautiful Bumpies. Welcome to Beyond the Bump, a podcast brought to you by Jayde Couldwell and Sophie Pearce.
This podcast is targeted at mums-to-be, and women in general.
And gents, feel free to have a listen too.
It's a place to have real discussions and ask real questions, no matter how hard, with honest and authentic conversations that leave you feeling lighter, more supported, and more understood after every listen.
We began as your go-to baby podcast, and we're still right there with you in the thick of it. But now we're growing with you and your kids too.
From newborn chaos to raising tweens and teens, from identity shifts to perimenopause and everything in between. We're here to support the full ride of womanhood.
And as always, we can't promise that it will always be kept PG, so please be mindful around little ears. Here we go.
Hello, Jayde.
Hello, Sophie and all our Bumpies listening. How are we this week?
I am great this week.
Fantastic.
I feel like this year I really just decided to lean into Book Week and have fun with it.
Oh my God, I just came from Book Week.
Yeah, and I feel like other years I've allowed it to piss me off. It's like how I've kind of embraced the elf on the shelf. I'm just like, you know what?
Let's do it.
It's only a short number of years. I know we're all at capacity already, but like, your kid in a costume, there's nothing cuter. And maybe I'm lucky that my kids picked really simple things this week. Like I feel like Poppy, she's 8. She's up to kind of chapter books. She chose to just be this random girl. She's like, I need a green t-shirt and jeans. I'm like, simple, done. But yeah, I've decided to lean into it this week rather than let it irritate me. And that's a way I'm like trying to go about parenthood. You know, like we've got a fairy garden now and there's like notes that get written back and forth. And every time I kind of catch myself going, oh my God, I just want to get into bed. The last thing I feel like doing is writing this note. I'm just trying to catch myself and be like, this is finite. This is cute.
Yes,
this is
cute.
Whimsy. Let's just lean in rather than leaning out and we can enjoy it. And how are you this week?
I'm all right. I actually, because I just came from Book Week and it was so cute because there were like bunches of Smurfs and like girls were like painted blue and then just having a t-shirt on.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't have lent in quite so much if my kids were like, I want to go as a Smurf and your lounge room is covered in like blue paint.
But I go like as they're walking past, I go, girls, imagine if it was actually permanent. And they go, and I'm like, no, I'm joking. And then there was like, I think Yumi went out, she went as a mouse, but like up until today, we were going and basing it off this bloody book. And of course the day off.
2 of my girls went as mice. Angelina Ballerina.
Yeah, but we couldn't find it was Clarice. I was like, we can't find the book. So that was a little bit of a moment. I'm like, hey, you know what? Someone will have the book. We'll find it. Anyway, it was just nice to see you, the funniest, grade 6, my goodness. So Billy and all of her friends went like as all the groups in Harry Potter, but
I'm stoked they're still properly dressing up. I feel like by year 6 they can get a bit cool.
Well, the skirts were
it was lackluster.
Very, very short.
Yeah.
Everything was it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was actually really good to just sit there and watch the parade because everyone, even the teachers, they put in so much effort and it was nice just to have that little, piece of...
It's wholesome.
It was wholesome.
Now, before you talk about your week, I'm coming in here as your security guard.
Yeah, thank you.
Because you didn't want to talk about your week. You alluded to it last week, how you were feeling like your expiry date on your ability to be depressed was up. And I have been thinking about this a lot this week, and it's actually pissed me off because I feel like this is a bit of the state we are at in society where we want to all pat ourselves on the back like, oh, we're so comfortable with mental health now, like, you know, raising awareness now for whether it's postnatal depression, postnatal anxiety, all these things. But I want to call a bit bullshit on it because I think we're comfortable with it and we're happy with it within such a finite box. It's like, yeah, you're allowed to be a little bit sad, but really anything outside of that, inconveniencing other people, is where kind of the acceptance of it stops. I feel like we're so comfortable with it in hindsight, where it's like, oh, it was really tough for her, but isn't she great? Look at her out the other side. Now I'm happy to be supportive. And I wonder if that's how you've been feeling. And even I maybe felt it in myself, where I was like, yeah, we better talk about something else because we've been talking about you being down for too long. And I caught myself and I'm like, if you're still depressed, you're still fucking depressed. And if that's hard on us, imagine how hard it is on you.
I think,
you know?
yeah.
And I think we've seen so many things in the news recently, like I'm sure lots of listeners, and we're not going to go into this too much, but lots of listeners have been following along with the Lindsay Clancy case, and we've had the terrible news of Hayden, the child star and actress who's died, and she was trying to be open about her postnatal depression, and that got cut down. And I just think sometimes it's like we can't get complacent. We've come to a point, but we need to go further where we accept mental health even when it makes us uncomfortable, rather than just accepting mental health when it's like, oh, she's a little bit sad, but it doesn't really affect me. Oh, yeah, she's a bit anxious, but like she's just dealing with that. Like, no, that's not accepting mental health.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. And I think the biggest part of this whole weird world of mental health and society accepting or not accepting is that people with mental health, depression, whatever they are going through, we know that being down and feeling down ends up becoming a real burden on others, because people don't like these feelings, especially I think people that are close to you. If they don't feel like they can handle how hard this is for them to see, then they can just turn a blind eye until it gets a little bit lighter or easier. And it then becomes up to the person with the mental health battles to handle it. Now, if you are...
And almost placate those around you by not being a burden.
So I got to a point where, there was a few comments of, it's just not light enough. Like these Friday episodes aren't light. And I just kind of went, okay, you know what? I can just silence myself and we can talk about lighter stuff. Like I want to make it real clear. People who are down, you'll notice, I did it the other night, they will mask to the best ability that they can. You'll see them probably act happier than any person that is actually happy, because they are pushing what they need so far down. And
you actually said that before we jumped on. You said, no, we've got funny stuff to talk about. And
I can do it. I can do it.
On. And she's like, I can pretend.
And then I looked at myself as I was setting up the equipment, and I had a bit of a giggle because my face was like, it's the life has been sucked out of me.
The eyes that let you down.
It is every time, Botox or not. But I also want to make it really clear that like depression can be something you can't control. Depression can be something and situational that's in your life and that you've just really got to handle, you can't handle. For whatever the reason, there is something that you're going through. And I guess I wanted to take a bit of a turning point because, there has been a lot of stuff in the media about, postnatal depression. Women who have never handled depression in their life, never felt what it's like. I do. I know how it feels. Luckily for me, I can see and sit in the depths of darkness and know that I'm probably at some point going to come out of it.
And you've done it before.
I've done it before.
Can I ask though, when you went through postnatal depression after your third child, had you experienced depression before, or had it always been mainly anxiety?
It's been, I think, mainly anxiety, but this was the postnatal depression that I had. It was high anxiety. So I think the difference, if I'm going to be, in a personal context, I would have these thoughts, and you know what? I'm not apologizing today about how I'm speaking about depression, because it is what it is. I would have these thoughts every time I'm driving, every time I'm doing something like, oh my God, there's rope there. Someone could kill themselves with that. Oh my God. I get why someone would just jump out of a car. I get why I would never do that. I genuinely would never do it, because my anxiety is too high to get to that point. People who don't have the anxiety and they have the deep depression, that's frightful because one, there isn't that, oh gosh, wonder what would happen. It's that, oh, you know what?
I don't care.
I can't understand. Going back to people who have never experienced depression, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. If this is forever, I can't take it anymore. I don't know who to reach out to because, yep, it's a burden. And we all look back on Hayden. We all look back on these poor women that have gone through all these horrible feelings and emotions and gone, oh, yeah.
Isn't that terrible?
It's terrible. It's terrible stuff. You can all handle that conversation because there's nothing you can do anymore. So you're going to sit there and you're going to talk about it. But I want you to sit and think about the people that are going through really, really dark stuff and understand that be the person that is there no matter if you don't know how to help them or if you do know how to help them, but be there for them in any way that you can because they most likely do not know how to get to the next stage or the next level. There are people that don't have psychologists that know their whole life story. There are people that don't know that they have post-traumatic stress disorder and the reactions that are happening is from a lifetime of stuff they've shoved under the rug. There are so many things that come under the umbrella of mental health, and it is really not fair for the people that are going through it to be told this needs to be quietened. It's a beautiful day out there. It's a great day. I get that it's a fucking blue sky out there, but that doesn't change the level of depth that I'm holding inside my chest right now. And I do not blame people. I do not blame people when they get to a point of not knowing if there is anything more that they can do. Because when people shut off from these people that are so dark and they're so hurt, what hope do they have?
So obviously every person's different. How can people help you? Because I think that's a hard thing.
Yeah.
As someone who, and I've got multiple people in my life who have got mental health issues, I would say I'm a pretty open person. I would feel like I can talk about most things, but you do get stuck where you go like, oh, if they're being short, does that mean I'm going to annoy them if I keep texting them? With you, I just try and be like, I'll pick up all slack.
Which is great.
And totally. And I have, instead of that at all being a burden, and not that I've ever thought of it as a burden, I have flipped it to the perspective of how lucky am I that I can take this on, as my thing, because you can't take that on right now. And so I feel like sometimes maybe instead of us thinking that people are burdens, it's like, well, how lucky am I to be in the mind frame right now that I can take that thing on?
Do you know the other thing, and I appreciate you so much when you do this, but the other thing that I think about often is if I just shared my absolute truth to the world of what I am sitting in and what I am going through, do you all feel better knowing how fucking hard it is and then you'd all come out of the woodwork? Or being silent because you don't get the answer, you're not coming to help? Like it's a real...
Do you mean people in your life or people listening?
Both. I think more people in my life, but I have always been one to go, I will just get the professional to handle it. For the first time in my life, I have reached out to every single person I can. I've reached out to people who probably don't want the phone call. I've reached out to all my tools. I'm saying...
And you're saying most people haven't
no,
to the table.
I'm saying that they are aware. I have got some really great support, but it is even for them. Like what do they do? Like I'm cleaning my house. I don't know where my cleaner went. She kind of just stopped replying, but I'm kind of like...
Oh, no, you can't have your cleaner turning your back.
But I'm like, I'm not going to call someone like one of my friends and say, I'm drowning in this house
yes,
right
you
now.
Are.
But they've got kids.
Yeah, but like it's one thing. Like if you called me, and even as someone that doesn't live in their own clean house, and said, "So if I'm drowning, I need you to come and help me clean my house," I would not. I would be there as soon as I could. It's not the same as cleaning my own house. Yeah, that's helping someone out in your community.
I know. I just think it comes back to that burden mentality of like, are you Do you really
But
need
I
it?
actually think sometimes people can see it as more of a burden if they don't know how to help. Sometimes if you
Yes.
give people ways to help,
But in a
that's
mental
easier. And I
headspace,
know
yeah.
totally, and I'm not saying that's easier for you,
Yeah.
but I feel like sometimes just people having a bit of a hint of how they can help is...
I am taking it as right now a 24-hour timeline. We get through 24 hours through every situation that is happening right now. And then I look for the next day of how to handle that. I've actually never been in this place before.
What do you mean?
It's a space where when it's all about me, I can be like, yep, the only person you've got to help is yourself, and you have to handle that.
Yeah.
And you can do all the tools. When there's other people at play and other mental health at play,
Yeah.
it's the priority goes lower because I know that I'm okay to a degree, right? So then other people who are not as good and not as in a better state as me, they have to be prioritized here. To hold those people, I actually want to do a full turn right now, and I want to give credit and support the people that are caring for others, because these people are holding a fuckload of pressure on themselves, and these people, they don't have the tools and they don't have the resources to even handle what they're handling. They didn't ask for it. Read between the lines if you want to, whatever you want to do. But basically there is my mental health, other people's mental health. There are so many things that are being managed right now. It's extremely exhausting. There have been emergency phone calls being had to get people into positions where they're safe. It's really, really tricky. I am that person. I know alarm bells when I see people and I hear people and they're screaming, I'm not okay. But if you don't know that because you haven't had depression, anxiety, or any suffering in that situation, it's very hard to understand, well, what do I do? Whereas I go act. I know what to do. And then I guess I'm left with myself and gone, I'm depleted. I've got to be there for my kids. I've got to be there. What do you do, Jayde? You go for a walk. You go hour by hour. Like, I am micromanaging. I know you're not a huge fan of AI, but I am micromanaging until I see my psychologist the most basic structure of my day so I can get through it. That is how I'm getting through it. It's weird because I don't look outside right now and go, oh, there's just no point in living, or, oh, it's so dark, there's nothing to look forward. I love editing. I love coming to work. I love all the things, but right now I'm so exhausted and depleted. I can't even give myself to any of those things fully. So, yeah, I just think if we're going to stop focusing on my personal experience and then just go back into the people that are out there not knowing what they're going through. There are mental health. I honestly just think this conversation is where it needs to be, because you can lead a horse to water. You can lead friends to say, you can get a mental health plan in place to the doctor. They've got to want to get to the doctor.
But even if you're not getting to the doctor, we'll link some helplines.
We will
and
link
that kind
a lot of
in the
things.
show notes.
LifeLine.
Yeah.
LifeLine for people when other people are like struggling and you are the person caring, you can call LifeLine. They will help you through how to handle that. There are
and places like Gidget Foundation if it's postnatal.
If it's postnatal, there are so many different things. But once again, when you're in a crisis.
But that's why sometimes a text or a phone call is like the most you can do.
Yeah.
I remember when I was pregnant and experiencing like a dark depression for the first time. I remember knowing within myself like I should see a psychologist.
Yeah.
But the thought of arranging that was so far beyond what I could fathom.
Yeah.
And that's someone who has access to it, had a partner that probably would have driven her there, but it still was just so beyond comprehensible that was something that I could do.
That's so far from what I think if there's something that you could honestly do for the person that's feeling dark is when your friend or your family member says, "How are you?" You say, "I'm not doing great. I've been better. I'm not the best self. I'm feeling really anxious." Give them a word. Give them a sign.
In hindsight, I probably should have said to Nick, like, "I'm not okay. I need you to make me a GP appointment and I need you to take me there." You know,
Absolutely.
Like I should have. I don't know why I thought that was. It makes me sad.
It
Thinking
is
about
sad.
it because I didn't do anything. And you know, we sit here on this podcast, and I'm like, if anyone told me this stuff, I would be like, "This is what you should do," and advice. Like I couldn't even do it for myself.
You can't.
And my silver lining was I was like, I know this is finite and due to pregnancy and this won't be forever, but like my heart and hat goes out to, you know, someone like you where you don't know when it's going to end or when it's going to come back or I've just really been thinking about it this week and I'm like, yeah, we need to give ourselves a pat on the back a bit as a society, but fuck, there's a long way to go.
There is a long, long way to go. And even the uncomfortability, like I you know, people talk about, you know, a small portion of like, wow, have you heard about the Lindsay case? Wow, did you hear that Hayden died and every single other Hollywood young actress and actor died? It's like, yeah, like
that's a
is that
full
it?
story of
Is that
yeah.
it? Like why? Why is this happening? Like the mental health and the pathways people are going down, like you can only do so much. I feel like myself, yeah, look, it's really, really, really tricky. It's really, really, really tricky. And and it's hard. And you know what? You've got to know the truth. People listening, your loved ones, people need to know that it is scary and it's fucking uncomfortable, but people need you. They need you wrapped around them. They need you. And if you need someone because you're holding them, you do that. Like it's a ripple effect, right? Like it might be a heavy situation. You can tap out of it. Someone's got to tap back in. I actually learnt that myself right now. Can't be the only person holding it all together.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that because I was going to come in here for people's sake and pretend that everything is okay. And, yeah, you're not getting a few giggles right now.
They'll be back.
Of course they'll be back.
You've got through it many times
100%.
before.
They
You're going
will.
to get through
This
it
is
and
just-
the giggles will be back.
They'll be back. But, yeah, sometimes maybe we just have to learn a few lessons in these deeper moments and it is what it is. Do we have some funny moments that we could
I don't know
end
if we've got funny ones, but we've had some parenting pickles sent in.
All right.
Are you happy to do a U-turn?
Oh, let's do it.
Are you happy to do a whiplash?
Yeah.
Okay.
An honest whiplash. Let's do it.
I'll tell you a parenting pickle. You're like, it's all fucked. Don't bother. Just give up.
You know, in this though, like even when your kids are hard or there's moments in life that are hard, you can watch them sometimes and play with them and go, there's the burst of like disconnect that you need. Like Yumi said, can I do anything for you? And put on a chef's hat and just wanted to like hand people in the house some waters just for a refreshment. And you just like,
Where's she now? Shame she had to go to school.
She's at school as a mouse.
All right, this is a good one.
Okay.
How to find time for myself with little kids during the week with no other adults around.
Honestly, embracing life with them. Like, if you're not going to get that time, I remember always feeling tapped out. It's like, all right, what are we going to do? Let's set up a picnic blanket, whether you got to go to a park, go somewhere, have a little like cup of tea station. This is if the girls or the boys are more like into just sitting and playing imaginary play. You got fresh air out there. You got a bit of time. You can speak for yourself when you combine the chaos.
Yeah, well, I would say the number one thing is stop going into every day thinking what do the kids want to do and think what can I do that my kids can join me in. And I mean, you've been doing this recently, like, and I've been trying to do it too. Like, if I just ignore everything and sit down with my kids and do the colouring in too, I'm like, this is really fun. No wonder they love doing this. You know, whether that's watercolour paints, whether that's colouring in, whether that's putting on some music and dancing, like pretend they're not there, you dance, whether that's strapping them in a pram and going for a walk and listening to your favourite podcast or listen to nothing. You know what? This morning, and I know this is not a good financial thing for us to say and it's not good for business. This morning, Nick did school drop off.
Yep.
I was at home. I was getting ready to come here, had a shower. I was getting ready and I was like, oh, what can I put on while I get ready? Should I listen to my audiobook? Should I listen to a podcast? And I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to listen to nothing. And I stood there in utter silence and I was like, that is what I needed because I didn't need to replace noise with noise.
No.
So I know you said that you didn't necessarily get time to yourself, but there you go. What else?
Can I say another one?
Yeah.
I actually did this morning and it was for myself but also for my kids and I thought it was a bit funny actually. I got this like hourglass and it's like a 5-minute, I actually think it's an 8-minute, but I've told my kids it's 5-minute. And I have this little setup and I'm like, okay, before everyone comes at me, I am about to flip this 5-minute timer. This means that I'm having my coffee and no one is to, unless you need something serious, no one is disturbing me. I'm just asking for 5 minutes. I flip it. They visually can see it. They're not asking when it's up. You can see when it's about to run out. And like this is the first day, so it was incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
Mum, can you plait my mum? I need you to do mum. Where is that mum? And I
point to it.
Just pointing to it.
Don't even speak.
Absolutely, I can help you once this is up. And there is so much in that 5 minutes that you need because it's almost like a protection.
Yeah.
Give me this time for me to just be with my thoughts, set up my day, wake the fuck up, and then move on. Obviously, if you've got young ones who cannot understand that.
Yeah, but do you know a way that you can kind of do that? And even with the age of my kids, this is what I've been trying to do recently. I think we all try and live in these super tidy, clean houses. These super, you smiled and laughed.
So
you sing Yellow Submarine if that's what you need. She's cute.
I actually hate that song, but go on.
Like I feel fucking worse. I think we try and live in these homes where it's like there's no sign of kids. Kids are like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
If you don't have the stuff out, they're not going to play with it. And I think something that is so good is if you are up ever so slightly before your kids, if you can, and I'm not talking about full sensory rice bins or anything like that, if you can literally tip out some Duplo and have like a couple of things slightly put together,
an idea.
They will be onto it. If you tip out your magnetic tiles and you put a couple of them together, they think they're going to break something that you've created, they will be there and they will be locked on. If you set up the watercolor paints there, they will wake up and they will be there.
Change the colouring books.
If it's all hidden away, they've
Couldn't
got to
agree
ask
more.
for it, which they're not going to.
So I love a clean and tidy house,
Yeah.
but I have realised that even for my own nervous system
Stuff has
regulation,
to be
it has to be
accessible.
accessible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, oh, I have to get it out and then it's
Yeah.
going to be messy. So that main little dining room, lounge room table, we barely have the TV on. It is just purely got arts and crafts
Yeah.
on it. And whenever we have a moment, we know we can all come together and sit.
Yeah.
Billy might go do her thing. She'll come back. She'll colour in.
Yeah.
Yumi is playing with the bunny. She'll come back here.
Yeah.
I can be sitting there the whole time present. I can be answering any
Yeah.
conversation, but I'm also helping myself by like
Yeah.
calming myself down during this time. So I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Let there be pockets of
Yeah.
chaos. So you do
It
have
invites them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more pickles?
So many.
Oh, yeah. What a surprise.
Don't know why this is a pickle, but my 3-year-old told me my face looked like a bum crack. No advice.
Well,
I promise it doesn't.
it doesn't. Maybe you need some moisturizer.
Oh, okay. Unplanned second
Your toe is so
pregnancy.
close to my
vagina.
flap.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what
And
we
you were
wanted.
moving it. I was like, oh, hello.
Thought it might help. Pep you up a little towing.
Camel toe. All right.
A little towing never.
Pop that
we'll
there,
pop
Dal.
that toe
Yeah,
behind
thanks.
the unplanned second pregnancy, struggling with the guilt of not wanting / not feeling excited.
Ooh, you go first.
Well, I know I've quoted this before.
Yeah.
And this is one of the best things my husband has ever said to me.
Huge call.
Huge call, because he can be known to pull out some great
does,
one-liners.
yes.
Quite wise when he wants to be.
Yes.
Super irritating another time.
But wise.
But wise.
Yeah.
So when we found out we were pregnant with our third, we always knew we wanted a third. It just happened, and obviously immense privilege that we could get pregnant so easily, but it happened sooner than we were expecting. We were off the back of 2 weeks of our other two taking in turns having croup. I felt like I had not slept for longer than like an hour in a row for 2 weeks. Weed on this stick, found out I was pregnant. The immense guilt I felt because the overwhelming sensation was not excitement was huge, because I'd felt so excited when I had the other two. And I said to Nick, I feel so bad. Like, why aren't I excited? And he said, I think that each child is like going out on a hike, and it's a hike you've done before. So it's like, you know, the next time you do the hike, you know there's going to be beautiful views along the way, but you also know the reality of how challenging aspects of that hike are going to be.
True.
And he was like, so it's only natural that you have some trepidation about going on that hike or having this other baby again, because you don't have this necessarily completely rose-colored glasses of, isn't it just going to be a flat hike with beautiful views the whole way? It's not. There's going to be ups and downs. Is it going to be worth it? Of course. But that is what I would say to that. You know, if I know it's unplanned, I guess you've got to work out, like, is it a wanted unplanned pregnancy or is it not? But if I'm assuming it is in parts a wanted unplanned pregnancy, I think that not being overcome with joy and excitement has no correlation, I don't think, to how you're going to be as a mum or what your connection with this baby
Couldn't
is
agree
gonna
more.
be.
Now, I'm going to be devil's advocate because I need to be. Let's just say you
Because
are
shit's fucked.
yeah.
You're really spready on that camera. You're going to look back at this video and be like,
Damn. Sorry,
I was
girls.
box shotting the whole time.
I was.
And everyone, if you don't know, you can watch these episodes.
can.
So you can
And
watch.
guess what? Today, I don't care.
You can watch between Jayde's legs for a solid 40 minutes.
You might have even seen the little toe tickle. You will see. I'm just going to say that it really depends also. Are you in a safe relationship? Is it a relationship that you are feeling like that this is your future? You're feeling really comfortable? Was it on the rocks? This has happened.
Yeah.
These are situations, these are questions that you do need to ask yourself. Do you genuinely, because it was unplanned, want the pregnancy? Did you ever want to have a second?
Yeah.
I know it sounds so like brutal, but you do have an option in Australia. I'm not saying that this is what you should do. I'm just saying that if you were in a domestic abusive relationship or you were in a situation where you genuinely financially thought there was no way out, that this would be actually so much harder on your life than you could possibly imagine, you have choices. You can speak to a doctor. Just know that you have support in any option and you're not alone. Many people have gone through it. I always wanted 3 kids. I accidentally fell pregnant in between the 2 that are 16 months apart. It was a stage of my life where I really felt like it was difficult to even handle 2 babies, and I had to make that decision. That's as a mother that wanted 3, that loves my children and would never ever think in my life that I would have have to make that choice, and I did, and I don't regret it. I do not regret it because that was for the sake of my family today, and look at my family today. Hey, we can laugh about it. Anyway.
I think we've got to name it. It's an abortion. I feel like it's like Voldemort. We're not saying the word.
Yeah, no, we're saying all the words today. Depression, abortion.
Voldemort.
Voldemort, yep.
Yeah. Can I actually say one other guilt thing that has come up? I've had 2 interesting conversations with mums in the past week.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think there's going to be bumpies who need to hear this.
Good.
Both of them said they've had their second child. One of them was saying, I feel so guilty. My first child, I made everything from scratch. We did beautiful finger-led weaning. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Finger-led weaning. My second child, I just feel like I don't have the time. I give them much more pouches. You know, things are in a hurry. It's not as like nutritionally balanced as before. And then the other person was saying, I just feel so bad. Like I feel like I was really one-on-one with play with my first baby and I haven't been able to do that with my second. And I said to both of them, I said, that's so natural to feel guilt about those things. But the thing we don't think about is what great benefits the second child gets out of being the second child.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, they get your confidence.
Yep.
They get your, I don't know, like we're so much more decisive the next time.
They have
We
to be
know
more
what you
resilient.
want. They're generally resilient. They get a different form of you.
Yeah.
And sure, there's cons involved with that. And I think I have to think about this even with my third. It's like, sure, like, you know, she had to be dragged from here to there at newborn, but fuck, she got a confident version of me that knew I was a good mum.
Yes.
That was decisive in my decisions. That's a terrible sentence, but we'll just go with it. Who knew my values really strongly and deeply as a mother. That's not what my first child got.
No.
And she got home-cooked meals and she got perfect wake windows and she got these things, but she got a mum that was treating her like a robot. She
Yeah.
got a mum that was nervous she was doing the wrong thing.
Tiptoeing down the hallway.
And so I just want to say, if there's any bumpies listening who are having that thought, I just thought it was really interesting the exact same thing had come up twice in 1 week. Sure, they miss out on some stuff, but we can't ignore the stuff they also gain.
And I actually think it's mind-blowing as the mother when you are going through the second or third time, because I would be like, that first child is screaming like the house down, having tantrums. Second child, dead asleep. It's like it's music to her ears. Like she is just out and happy. And I was like literally like
with your
stealth
first.
mode. Yeah, tiptoeing, and I wouldn't even, don't you dare open the crack of the door because she might wake. And I think it's just understanding the more that you go through these circumstances and life situations, they are so resilient and they will adapt to any situation that they're given. And look, I actually take my hat off for me being the mum of 2 because it gave me a break to be like, yeah, you know what? Once or twice a week, cook a home-cooked meal. When you're out and about, it's 2020, whatever it was, like we're sweet. Like she's fine. Like we're doing it my way. I feel confident.
Yeah.
And I think it is. It's that confidence of like, you're okay. You're being fed. I love you.
Yeah.
You're being dressed. You're being bathed. Yes, you might sleep in the pram instead of that schedule at home in the bed, but you are okay.
Yeah. And you are going to be okay, Jayde.
And you are okay.
I am. We love you, Bumpies.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on that journey with us.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
And we're not sorry.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beyond the Bump. If you loved it, please leave us a review.
If you didn't, good on you. You can find more Beyond the Bump goodness and keep up to date by following us on TikTok, Instagram, and our Facebook group page. We'll leave the details in the show notes.
Until next time,
Bye-bye.